the UN organization was created in 1945, the work that governments, all parts of society, have to do to improve the economic and social conditions is never ending, because we can never stop improving on the social economic conditions of humanity. And that's why this chamber has an incomplete ceiling, because it implies that we have to keep working to improve on the social economic reality of people around the world. And that's where the SDGs came from. The Sustainable Development Goals adopted in the United Nations here in another chamber, the General Assembly Hall, in 2015, 1 year after M1B was created, was creating a roadmap for achieving just that. Overcoming differences, overcoming challenges, world leaders came together to tell us how we can reach 2030. An agenda that will create a world in which there's no poverty, or at least no extreme poverty, nobody goes hungry, education is available for everybody around the world, gender equality, we have less inequality, we are dealing and tackling all of the other issues and challenges that we're facing. And much has been done, but we are not on track. And I think this is why it's important when generation like yours, innovators, young people in India, but also elsewhere in the world, come together to address those challenges and see how technology can actually help us meet those challenges. According to the Secretary General's report from July of this year, we are only 15% of where we need to be in achieving the SDGs by 2030. That looks like a mighty challenge. We can either feel pessimistic and saying we're never going to achieve the SDGs, or we can borrow from a sport and football analogy. No game in sport is ever lost in the first half. You could be down 5 goals, 10 goals in the first half, but in the halftime, the players meet with the coach, and the coach gives them encouraging remarks, and this is what happened this year in the SDG Summit in September. World leaders were reminded of the promises they made in 2015, and of the fact that we have 7 years left to achieve the SDGs. And we have to double the effort, we have to double the energy to actually get us to where we need to be. Now we know that the world was impacted by COVID, by the pandemic. That has set us back. It has also been impacted by conflicts, ongoing conflict in many parts of the world, new conflicts that we have seen erupt in the last few weeks, months, and the other conflict 2 years ago when Russia invaded Ukraine has also had major impact on the price of food, price of energy, that have set things back. We are looking at numbers where we have the largest number of displaced people in history. We have more people going into poverty than any time before. Systematically, from 1990 until now, the number of people living in extreme poverty has dropped, but last year it actually increased. And that's the compound impact of rising conflict and the pandemic, plus also the climate crisis. And I think the climate crisis is essential. I spoke in this chamber a few years ago on the 2nd of October, which was, of course, Mahatma Gandhi's birth date, which is the International Day of Nonviolence. And that is a reminder of another legacy that comes to the world from India, that we need to settle our differences and conflicts with nonviolence. And that's what the UN was created, to bring all member states, all parts of society together to see how we can actually deal with the challenges that we are facing with our differences in a non-violent way. And that's what the UN was created. It has so far enabled us to avoid a third world war, which could really devastate humanity as a whole, because now we have more devastating weapons. But it continues to offer the hope for us to work together to try to settle conflicts in a peaceful way, which is the work that we will do and we continue to do. But more importantly, how do we engage young people to achieve a world in which everyone thrives in peace, dignity, and security on a sustainable planet. And that's what you have been working on, and I think this is the challenge of us working with you, looking to the future. Her Excellency mentioned that India is a very young country. You are. The median age in India is 28 years old, 28. In 1998, 25 years ago, the median age in India was 21. So you're catching up. And that happens when societies develop economically and socially. The median age in Japan is 48. The median age in Europe is 44. The median age in America is 38. Actually, it went up to 39 last year. The median age in Africa today is 19. So that's the youngest continent today. And for that reason, we are trying and planning to have a summit, a conference for civil society organizations ahead of the Summit of the Future that will look at how civil society can contribute to the Summit of the Future, reflect on the proposed Pact for the Future, and we are having that conference in Nairobi in May, because that is this continent where we see the future, because that's the youngest continent. But also we want to make sure that all continents contribute, and how can that opportunity through the work of civil society can actually reflect on the next Pact for the Future that will look beyond the SDGs, but also on other key challenges we're facing, including science, technology, innovation, youth, and future generations, peace and security, global governance, financing for development. These are the issues on the Summit of the Future's agenda. And we look forward to working with you and with 1M, 1MB, and others in India to ensure that actually we bring your voices to that conference. We have some challenges yet to go, but we are going to overcome them. But thank you again for coming to the UN, because the UN is your organization. The charter starts with the words, we the peoples, not we the governments. So this is your organizations. The SDGs are your SDGs, not ours. And let's work together to achieve them, but also let's look together to how do we jot and build a better future for all. Thank you.
Now call upon Mr. Gok Jing Shang. Mr. Shang is the chief of the NGO branch in the Department of Economics and Social Affairs, DESA, of the UN since March 2022. Before joining DESA, Mr. Shang served as a career diplomat at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of South Korea for 26 years. He has worked both inside and outside the UN and experienced both multilateral and bilateral diplomacy.
It's Korean guy, yeah.
Good afternoon, namaste. Yesterday afternoon, I had an honor and privilege to meet Dr. Swati and some of the students, as well as the teachers who came all the way from India. Welcome to the United Nations. It has been a long journey for you to come here, and it must be really tiring because it's past the midnight in Indian time. But I can see the fresh eyes on and I was really surprised yesterday and impressed by the presentation by the two students, which gave from me a shock mode, because I have from the son and daughter, but I didn't think of I don't think of my kids having any thought about SDGs or any that kind of innovative ideas. Even if they have those new ideas and of the great initiatives, I don't think they could have that kind of the education led by the Indian educators, as well as the cooperation with the 1M1B NGOs. So I think it is a big teamwork that made it possible to have this kind of good initiatives. And I'm looking forward to see more great ideas this afternoon. And I don't want to waste my time speaking here, but please remember that your generation, is the only the last generation that can end the poverty, and the first generation that first and only generation that can end the climate change, as the former Secretary General said. Thank you very much for coming, and I'm looking forward to hearing more from you.
Also calling upon our next guest, Mr. Amit Angesia. He's a Cannes award-winning filmmaker and World Press photo-winning photographer. He's a member of the Academy of Motion Pictures, Arts and Sciences. Before we proceed to hear the social change makers, the young social change makers, may I request Manav to give a brief context of the journey that these social innovators, social change makers have gone through to come to this stage.
Thank you, Swati. Something that I'm really proud of is talking about the journey the 50+ youth change makers here have undergone before they will be making their presentations today. A lot of them have done 3 years worth of work during the pandemic when things were shut down. They have gone beyond themselves. They have taken actions for their community and they have created real impact. At the same time, undergoing about 60 hours of curriculum and work at the grassroots. While doing this work, they've got present to who they are. They've got present to what their purpose is. They've got present to what their career goals look like, with humanity at the center of it. They are human-centric leaders that I'm so proud of. And I'm so proud that 1M1B could make a small contribution in their journey and get them here at the United Nations to present some of their work. And as my colleague Jonathan says, the work that these people are doing, some people and many people don't do in their lifetime. So it's with great honor that I would like to present the 1M1B youth change makers and impactors who would be in the next few panels presenting to you the work that they have been doing. And they have been given only a minute, maybe a little more, but they have spent hours and hours of work at the grassroots to make change happen. And these are real change. These are real change, real people, and real impact. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Manav. May I now request Her Excellency Madam Ruchira Kamboj to declare the summit open so that we can start the presentation. Thank you. Handing over to my colleague Irene Manning, who is the curriculum head at 1M1B Foundation, to take us to the next round of the change makers making the presentation. And may I request the distinguished guests to kindly join us.
this guy. Picture.
Picture guy, Korean guy. You know,
Our organization picture.
Okay. It's
Chinese.
We
Thank you
met
very much,
you
Swati,
before, right?
and welcome everyone.
We met you before, right?
We are going to be
Outside
discussing
the-
our youth changemakers impact in 3 panels this afternoon. And I have the privilege of leading this panel, which is all about community and inclusivity. Each of the changemakers that are about to present to you have done projects along the lines of community and inclusivity. And I hope that you're impressed with the work that these young leaders have done in furthering the cause of the SDGs. I'm going to ask each of them in turn to introduce themselves and their work, and we'll just go straight down the line. Go ahead.
I was 15 when I had my first encounter with street harassment, getting catcalled on the subway. And since that young age, the experience has continued to grow. Whether it be getting followed home from the grocery store, stopped at the airport, or groped at a concert. These experiences are not unique. Every woman has a story, and we aim to prevent that. Project Pink focuses on the people around the incident to help derail it. Bystander intervention is a proven methodology, but the idea is that helping a person in trouble makes the situation better for them. The 5 Ds of bystander intervention are distract, delegate, document, direct, and delay. We use these 5 Ds to train high school and college students. We've trained over 300 students, and with the help of these 5 Ds, they've prevented countless incidents of harassment. We've also held 2 awareness programs to explain the idea of how easy it is to improve the life of another simply by being a bystander. Project Pink is a fight to help the world make streets safer for women. So let's join hands and turn the world pink.
Did you know 1 in 2 people who need insulin cannot access it? Isn't this atrocious? After witnessing the life-threatening challenges my younger brother faced after his type 1 diabetes diagnosis, I was inspired to help the underprivileged T1D kids who lack access to life-saving insulin, knowledge, and support. Hence, Project Surya was launched to ensure that good health and well-being is made accessible to the 422 million diabetics across the globe. Greetings, I'm Diva Utkarsha, the founder of Project Surya. We are a youth-led non-profit supporting the underprivileged type 1 diabetes children through awareness, advocacy, and funding. We have educated 400 rural type 1 diabetic families and 14,000 individuals through our awareness sessions and have raised $8,000 to sponsor 4,000 vials of life-saving insulin. We've launched campaigns to demand tax-free insulin in India. With your support, these children will get a second life, one that they deserve. Because today, the power rests with us. The power to change lives, the power to save lives, and the power to sweeten lives. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Shloka Chandran, a 1M1B future leader and the founder of Project Transform. Growing up, I did not have any exposure to the word discrimination. Until at 14, I saw a transgender woman being physically abused. She is one among the 90% of the transgender community that faces social rejection. I started Project Transform to transform the lives of the transgender community living in Bangalore, India. When interacting with members of the community, I realized awareness about them and their health were 2 basic needs but lacked a lot of attention. I started conducting health camps to help them with their physical and mental health, conducting awareness session series called Transparent Talks to raise awareness about the community, and working on getting public transgender washrooms. Health insurance is the need of the hour and my current focus. I am raising money to provide health insurance premium for the trans community, and each person who donates to this cause is helping 1 more trans person come out of the vicious cycle of helplessness. I've begun on this journey and each person in this room can do so by being inclusive and respectful towards the transgender community. Thank you. Every 9 minutes, Child Protective Services find evidence for child sexual abuse claims, a crime that is characterized by the abuse of power and trust. It shatters the innocence of children and leaves lifelong scars. Its long-term effects include PTSD, anxiety, depression, many mental disorders, so in some cases, even leading to suicide. My cousin was only 4 years old when she was sexually abused by her 50-year-old neighbor.
And thus, Ohana and I, Krish, started the project Save Little Hearts, which aims to create awareness on child sexual abuse by educating underprivileged children on safe touch, unsafe touch, and response systems. We've educated over 150 children in collaboration with the Rotary Club and other NGOs across Bangalore. We've also linked a psychologist with a few government schools to visit them on a quarterly basis and reiterate the safety guidelines. We're currently developing our own animated book, which is called Safety with Super Maya, that we plan to distribute to these government schools.
Many victims suffer in shame and fear, unaware that they are not alone. So join us in breaking the silence and creating a world where children feel safe, supported, and empowered. Thank you.
You were too late. That was the first thing we heard when my mother was diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer. I was just 10 years old. But my mother had the luxury of screening facilities and knowledge about the symptoms she should look out for. But 70% of Indian women, they don't. And when they hear these words, when their children hear these words, the situation is far, far darker. Project Sirona was created with one purpose: to bridge the gap in cancer screening and cancer care that is so apparent today. To do this, we take a multi-pronged approach consisting of cancer screening, which we do with camps and buses, and also imparting awareness on self-examination. In just 4 months, over 250 impacted in 3 cancer screening camps and $1,200 raised in funding. But what's the dream? Of course, we have to do more cancer screening camps across the nation. But ultimately, I want to create a fund, one that doesn't stop at screening, but ensures that the women who tested positive for cancer have no financial constraints placed on them when they approach a cancer care facility. Together, let's ensure that no woman ever hears the words, "It's too late," ever again.
Thank you, students. I'm now going to ask each of them to elaborate a little further on the subject of community and inclusivity. And Advika, I'd like to start with you because I know that one of the events that you held was a human library. So I'd like to hear a little bit more about how you came to that idea and what it's all about.
Okay, so Project Pink was first exposed to the idea of a human library when we read an article about it a couple of years ago. And if I'm being honest, we completely forgot about it until my partner Bhavna and I came across a story of a domestic violence victim in our state in India. We really wanted to share her story, but we weren't sure how we could, and that's when we remembered the idea of a human library. So to put it in simple terms, a human library is an event where you borrow a person instead of a book. So the reader loans out a human book, and essentially it just encourages open conversation, hard truths, and it's a way for everybody to get to share their story.
Thank you. Diva, next to you. You have relied on the power of community through many partnerships with government officials, with Rotaries, etc. Can you tell us a little bit about how you form those relationships and how that helps you further your cause?
Absolutely. So I think one of the major learnings throughout my project was to value deeper human connections, where your passion for the cause outshines. Networking is extremely important to secure collaborations with international organizations like the Rotary. Every single conversation is important because you never know when that one big opportunity walks through the door. So to foster every single interaction becomes extremely, extremely fun. These organizations have immense reach and potential. So collaboration always helps you reach more people within your target demographic.
Thank you, Diva. Shloka, your topic of transgenders is often considered a very sensitive topic, and especially for someone of your age. But I would like to know if you could share with the youth that are here, how do you go about tackling such a sensitive topic in spite of your age?
Yes. Honestly, it was very difficult to break through to a community that is so scared and so they're very reserved. I had to use a lot of connections, connect to many NGOs, and finally I was able to break the ice. I did so by using the 4 Ps: purpose, perseverance, passion, and a positive attitude. The kindness the trans community has shown me has truly enriched my life. But what I'd like to say to the youth present here is don't shy away from something just because others don't want to talk about it. If you truly believe in something, you should stand up for it. Be that one person who starts the conversation, who takes the initiative and makes the change. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shloka. Ohana and Krish, you also have been dealing with quite a difficult topic. But there's something different in your approach, which is that you're working with youngsters. And I'd like to know how you being a little closer in age to these young kids that you're teaching about sexual abuse, about safe touch and things like that, how have you been able to leverage your age to make a positive impact for these children?
When we speak with the children, especially about such sensitive topics, it's much easier for them to understand and to listen because they know that we're their peers and we also face the same challenges every day as they do.
Furthermore, this topic is very sensitive, as we all know. When parents and elders speak to children, they are often hesitant to open up, speak up, and ask further questions as they find the conversation uncomfortable. However, during our sessions, we've had children share their experiences, talk openly, ask several questions, because the environment is far less intimidating. Every child, and every child needs to be saved, and it is our duty to do that. Thank you.
And finally, Abhinav, I know that you have a very personal connection to your topic, which can often be difficult to translate into action. So can you share with the youth that are here today, how do you take something that you're really passionate about and turn it into action?
So I think, especially with a project like mine, which had a lot of traumatic baggage when it came to revisiting it, it's obviously going to be hard to start building that momentum towards making any actual progress. But I think the biggest step that we can take initially is to create micro goals for ourselves and take each small step towards that goal as a major one. So with a project like mine, obviously, which consists of awareness screening, and recently I found out even a stigma against cancer screening present in many rural areas, tackling one issue at a time is probably the best way to go about it. And for me, hosting just one screening camp initially, which had only 15 attendees, made so much of an impact in the larger run because it gave me the confidence needed to host bigger screening camps and build that momentum. So I would say starting off with those micro goals and taking those small wins is the biggest thing to do.
Thank you so much. Thank you to all our youth change makers for sharing your experiences here today. I'm now going to cede the floor to Mana, who's going to introduce the concept of our purpose rebels. Thank you.
So for the last 10 years, I and my team have been working with thousands of students. There are thousands of stories to be shared. And one of the challenges that we all face is getting them to you. Because you hear them, you probably read about them, but you don't know the backstory. You don't know what happens when they are back home working in the villages. This is a new generation, and this new generation, like any other generation, need their local heroes. Heroes who are following their purpose, who are called out by their purpose, not because of their schooling or their education or their degrees, but what is the larger purpose that I belong to? And we have selected 2 such purpose rebels who are fighting for their purpose in this world, which is logical, reasonable. When I took this story, or I would say challenge, to one of the filmmakers, Amit Madheshiya, he got inspired to do short documentary on 2 of our students who have been participating in our programs for a couple of years. And he said, can I, with my storytelling lens, present stories of these people, of these 2 purpose rebels as we call them, and get them to the United Nations. So here is the first story of Varushka Pandey, one of our future leaders and a student of our Purpose Academy, and the work that she has been doing. And this story is from the eyes of the award-winning Cannes filmmaker, Amit Madheshiya. One of the big things that we are trying to do is how do we make change-making go mainstream? How can we inspire millions and millions of young people to go beyond themselves and take actions for their community? And in that endeavor, here is the first short documentary that we would like to present to you.
The minute you disappear. The minute you disappeared, my heart was jabbed by a million spears. I carried this fractured piece of a heart. I hushed it, stifling it, not to make a sound. Granny is unwell every day, and that's when Granny died. And what remained is the part of her we never saw. The antibiotics, the sheer pain. She left with her sickness, and it's binded to me. I now feel too much. It's a curse. It's why I write. It's why I verse. My grandma passed away a few years back due to an undiagnosed ailment. It was really heartbreaking to know that even though we have so much knowledge, modernized technology to help us with healthcare, still nobody was able to save her life. Her entire sickness made me realize that I could be what this world was lacking at that time. And I wanted to save somebody's life like her, which could have made such a huge difference. I joined the Purpose Academy program, and it sort of expanded that entire philosophical revelation that we all have a purpose. I realized that a lot of schools, including my school, they don't have first aid training programs. I emailed Emergency Medical Services of India, and I found out that the 3rd largest number of calls had been made to report cardiovascular issues. And a lot of people don't even know the symptoms of a cardiac arrest and how to perform CPR. So that's when I realized that I want to work on CPR. I wanted to make a mass movement and train so many people in CPR. My project seemed impossible. Even people in my family, like, how could she do this all at the age of 14? She's just finished her 8th grade. How could she do this entire massive project, impacting people in a region, impacting people in a country?
CPR. 98% of Indians are currently untrained in CPR. So my main aim is to reduce that number and bring it down low.
CPR training ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಕೊಡೋದು ತುಂಬ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಎಷ್ಟು ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟು ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಈಗ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಹೆಲ್ಮೆಟ್ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಆಕ್ಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಕ್ಕೆ ಕೊಡೋದು, ಹೆಲ್ಮೆಟ್ ಯಾಕೆ ಕೊಡೋದು ಸೇಫ್ ಮಾಡಿ.
So you check for response by placing your hand below the nose, response, or you tap them. Hello.
ಎರಡು ಫಿಂಗರ್ ಇಟ್ಟು ಅದರ ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ ಇಡ್ತೀರಾ, ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಇದೊಂದು ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಾಟ್ಸ್ ಥರ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸಿಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ?
Stop. Check for response. If the person responds, you stop. You don't do it again. And then after we conduct all the questionnaires and all of that, then we're going to have that period of analyzing and developing themes out of what we've collected, like a data, and that's when we start sort of compiling research.
No, it makes sense. Any way you can include ASHA workers and Anganwadis?
I think I could include them. I could think about
Because sometimes you get a real grassroots information from them.
Manav sir has always helped guide me through this entire plan. He was the reason I could carry out what I wanted to do. So he helped me manage it and plan it out strategically. And he showed me my path in life. There are 10.5 lakh ASHA workers suggesting service in India. You can teach people in your community, in your village, and this could help spread the word. My grandmama told me long ago that all of our hearts are vessels. We all have similar shapes and similar sizes of vessels. We all have equal capacities within us to feel and to empathize and to help others.
With that, I would like to call Amit Madeshia on stage. Please welcome. So Amit, I'm lost of words. What was your experience in making that?
I would say that I hope you can see that in the film. Barushka's energy and dedication and passion was quite inspiring and infectiously inspiring for me. And I think that's what I felt when I first met her and I heard her story and how deeply committed she was to what she was pursuing. And I kind of immediately knew there's a very good story here that needs to be told well so that it can reach more people, hopefully in the country and across the world, because it's very inspiring what she's pursuing, and for me the goal was that hopefully this story could also inspire other young people in the country and across.
Thanks, Amit. Barushka, let's have you get recognized. Please stand up. So Varushka, a question for you, and you can use the microphone just in front of you. What was your experience and what is your commitment? And any recommendation for the Pact of the Future and the United Nations Agenda for 2030?
So currently we live in a world where 9 out of 10 lives could be saved
by performing CPR during a cardiac arrest. 4 to 5 million deaths occur each year because of cardiac arrests. And I feel like to reach the UN SDG goals by 2030, we need everybody, every single person, every single youth to recognize their capabilities, to recognize their power, and everybody has power instilled within them, and they have to take this to another level. They have to combine their passion with their project and make it a reality. That's how we're going to reach the UN SDG goals.
Thanks, Farushka. Big round of applause for Farushka. Thank you very much for doing that. I'll turn it back to the next panel.
So I'm here to talk about one more aspect of community and inclusiveness, and that's digital inclusion. As we all know, the future in the 21st century is all about the digital revolution, but there are millions of people who don't have access to digital skills, have never written an email, or have never even turned on a computer. And a big part of what we want to accomplish through our Digital Nagrik program is to reach those people and tell them a little bit about how to behave online, what it means to be a digital citizen. When I came here a year ago, we had just introduced our digital citizenship curriculum, and a lot has happened in the last year, and so I'd like to start with a short film to show all the events that have happened over the last year in our digital citizenship journey.
We've been talking about digital citizenship globally, but Digital Nagrik brings it home to India. So I think making India and Indian students being aware of their digital rights and duties and making them empowered citizens, digital citizens, is what Digital Nagrik is aiming to, and I think it's a fantastic movement.
पूरे स्कूल के जो तीनों फ्लोर्स पे 80 बोर्ड्स हैं, 80 के 80 बोर्ड्स अलग अलग डिजिटल सिटीजनशिप की थीम थी। जो हमारा जीके का करिकुलम है वो हमारे वॉल मैगजीन की थीम से ही निकलता है। तो एक तरह से ये काफ़ी हमारे जहन में चला गया, और आज 1 साल बाद ये जुलाई में फिर से इसका इम्पैक्ट भी हमें दिखता है बच्चों को।
कुछ ना कुछ करके बच्चों को इसके बारे में जागरूक करना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि बच्चे हैं और उनको एक, जैसे मैंने कहा, उनको एक जिम्मेदार डिजिटल नागरिक बनाना ये हमारा कर्तव्य है।
और उन्हें कैसे निभा पाते हैं हम स्कोलास्टिक और पोस्ट स्कोलास्टिक का अमैलगमेशन, जिसे कहते हैं आर्ट इंटीग्रेशन, हम उसके जरिए बच्चों से आए दिन ऐसे मुद्दों पर कोई ना कोई परफॉर्मेंसेस करवाते हैं, म्यूजिक, डांस और ड्रामा के जरिए सब्जेक्ट को इंटीग्रेट करके।
और यहाँ पर ये भी ज़रूरी है कि ये सिर्फ कुछ बच्चों तक सीमित नहीं रह जाना चाहिए, ये हर बच्चे तक ग्लोबली पहुँचना ज़रूरी है और इसे एक मिशन के जैसे लेना है। ये करिकुलम नहीं, ये एक मिशन है।
Just a small sample of the work that we have been doing over the last year in our aim to reach, can we go to the slides, please? Thank you. 10 million students and 1 million teachers by the year 2026 to bring digital citizenship skills across the country of India. Now, one of the first things that we realized when we started talking about such big goals was that English was not enough. And hence, we started first on in February on Safer Internet Day with a rebranding of our program. We went from digital citizenship to digital Nagrik. Nagrik is the Hindi word for citizen. And so the title alone signals our commitment to reach the length and the breadth of the country of India with our message of digital citizenship. Our Digital Nagrik program, you can see we have already reached 700,000 people taking our Digital Nagrik pledge, and I'm going to tell you about that pledge at the end of my discussion. One of the big important things, obviously signaling this change from digital citizenship to digital Nagrik, was the fact that we needed to put our curriculum in multiple languages. So this year we've taken an initiative, and I'm happy to say that our digital Nagrik curriculum is now available in 3 main Indian languages, being Hindi, Telugu, and Kannada. With these 3 languages alone, we anticipate being able to cover almost 50% of the population and speak to people in their own language in a way that makes sense to them and bring the idea of the skills of digital safety, digital footprint, of kindness on the internet home to them in a way that they feel comfortable learning and that we feel proud to teach them. The other thing that we've been doing over the last 1 year is empowering our community. We have a very strong and growing community of educators, of government officials, and of like-minded people who feel that the topic of digital citizenship is vitally important for the students of the world, not just of India. And so we have reached out through trainings, through advocacy, through campaigns, and through discussions in our monthly Future Tech Influencers program, where we bring together these different parts of society to create this community of people who want to uplift and want to bring digital skills across the country of India. In that, we've been highly successful. You can see by the numbers here, we've reached over 400,000 teachers and over 3 million students with our curriculum about digital citizenship. Thank you. I think that deserves a little bit of a round of applause myself. I'm especially proud that we have reached 30 states and union territories, but there's much more to go. And hence, I look forward to your support and to you helping us bring digital citizenship and the message of digital safety and inclusiveness across the country. That brings me to my final point, which is our Digital Nagrik Pledge. I challenge each one of you here today to take this simple yet effective 5-point pledge. This is a distillation of what we believe it means to be a digital citizen, a citizen of the world who uses the internet for positive and for good. Okay? And please go to our website. It's iamdigitalnagrik.com. You can fill the pledge out, and you can print out a certificate that you can hang in your office or in your classroom that validates, that says, yes, it is important to practice these digital Nagrik skills, to role model them to those around us, and help build a safe, inclusive community on the internet that the whole world can enjoy. So join me in becoming a digital Nagrik today. Thank you very much. Okay, now I have the great pleasure of announcing our 1M, 1B anthem. This is the first time that everyone is going to hear our anthem. We are extremely proud of this message. The song is called Our World is Beautiful. It's a distillation of the work that we do and the focus on the SDGs. This song is written and composed by Jonathan Flax, our very own Jonathan, and will be sung by the voices of 1M, 1B. Thank you. Welcome to the stage, guys.
you see the word one, you could say it with us. Okay, let's start the music. One million hearts, one billion dreams, for every ocean, for every fresh clean stream. We are the goals and we know the future's bright. We know together we will all see the light. Our world is beautiful. Let's give it all our love. Men and women equally, living with clean energy. Our world is beautiful. This is why we activate, leading with these global goals to foster peace and prosperity. One hearts unite. Our voices strong for education, so learning lasts and lives are long. We are change makers, and in partnership we stand for every living creature all across every land. Our world is beautiful. Let's give it all our love, well-being and healthy life, keeping commerce responsible. Our world is beautiful. This is why we activate, leading with these global goals. Clean air will be our fate. For every climate, we fight the change. For every city, we innovate. Honest work in every community. Everyone, 1 million for 1 billion, ending hunger and ending poverty. Again, 1 million for 1 billion. Our world is beautiful. Let's give it all our love. Men and women equally, living with clean energy. Our world is beautiful. We inspire each other, working for our global goals. In unity, we all rise above, rise above all. 1 million for 1 billion. Thank you very much.
Good evening, everyone. We move on to the next track now. This is going to be a track on technology for social impact. So let me start off by echoing the words of Mr. Maher Nasser. The SDGs stand as a blueprint for a better world, and in this journey to build a better future, young people are not merely participants, they are the architects of change. The urgency to empower our youth grows ever more pressing. We need your vision, your audacity to dream big, and your unwavering commitment to action. Your innovations have disrupted the status quo, proving time and again that age is no barrier for impact. And technology can be your best friend in this journey and your biggest armor in your arsenal. On that note, our second panel for today is on technology for social impact, AI, AR, and VR for SDGs. We have 6 fantastic youth panelists representing 5 projects on this panel. I would request each of the panelists to introduce yourself along with the impact you have created through your projects. So let's begin.
3 years ago, my life changed when I met Suma, a young girl facing immense challenges after losing her parents. To support her education and others like her, I founded Education for Everyone. In short, E for E. Good evening to everyone present here. I'm Ashmita, a teen from India, and my project aims to help underprivileged children aged 10 to 15 who lack adequate resources and funding for their education. So far, we have been able to impact 3,200 students by teaching them, sponsoring the education of 33 students, establishing 2 libraries at low-income schools, and developing a curriculum-based kit called the Edufication Toolkit. Navigating fundraising with limited donations and overcoming the reluctance of students to learn were certain hurdles that I faced along the way. Yet heartfelt letters of gratitude from students reassured me that small actions can create lasting impressions. I've also initiated ORAD, 1 rupee a day, a parallel fundraising concept for sustained fundraising. I firmly believe that quality education to an ignited mind can strengthen the nation. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Chaya.
And I'm Jia.
And we are the founders. We started this project after seeing the miserable conditions of water in the villages during one of our trips. 2 weeks ago, we opened our very first water filtering ATM in a village in South India. We started the construction on September 19th and built it from the ground up after raising $13,400 US. We have converted our project into a business model such that the money raised by the filter goes directly back to the village for management and maintenance. And to ensure the cash flow is done properly, we are training a government official to join the panchayat.
Our project has worked with the government and political leaders, for example, the members of parliament, so we can proudly say that we are government trusted and government funded. We've advocated in schools and clubs, and we've been talked about by various celebrities. We envision an India where every village has access to safe and clean drinking water. Thank you.
60 seconds, 1 minute to talk about the story of 71 million construction workers in India. To talk about Indian society's utter failure in teaching construction workers basic skills that even middle school students around the world learn. Hi, my name is Shan, and my project Pave the Way aims to ensure that financial literacy and access to schemes is not just a privilege, but a basic right. So far, I've helped over 1,000 workers, teaching them financial literacy topics like savings, budgeting, and insurance. I've also helped them gain access to government schemes, giving each worker up to $20,000 in benefits. But this isn't just India's issue. It's a global issue that impacts countries like the US and Singapore. To reduce inequality, we have to educate the informal sector. So join me in helping those who built our roofs build their own financial future too. Thank you.
Dhanushka is a child in rural India, underprivileged, abused, and living in a world whose language she doesn't speak. This is the sad story of 244 million children across the world. I'm Roshni Gupta, and this is my story to help them through Project Vidya. We aim to develop English communication skills in underprivileged children to transform their lives. Through 12 comprehensive workshops that use online resources and extracurriculars, we've seen a significant improvement in them through increased confidence and assessments. Libraries have been filled to create a continuous reading cycle. Awareness campaigns have been conducted to inspire others.
and a fundraiser was recently launched to provide 204 scholarships. In the future, I aim to share my online curriculum across India, add a psychological aspect to help these children overcome their trauma, and expand my project through a volunteer network. Project Vidya aims to equip every child like Dhanushka with the right communication skills so that they can share their passion the same way I have with you today. Thank you.
I'm Mahima, a 17-year-old from Houston. After moving to India at the age of 7, I faced bullying due to my American accent. I developed an anxiety disorder, and I was unable to speak at school for 3 years. Although I conquered the disorder, the memory of isolation spurred me to become a mental health advocate. I started volunteering at Choose to Do Inc. 4 years ago, and I discovered that 60% of psychologists in the US have no available openings for new patients. I aim to bridge this gap by using the Starfly app and my advocacy through a research paper, a TEDx talk, and the podcast Rambles that have reached 60,000 people in 15 countries. The Starfly app connects chronically ill children with each other, creating a supportive community. Developed with 15 psychologists, Starfly meets the stringent regulations of the US healthcare system and is COPPA compliant. We received enthusiastic responses from our initial users, and we're working to pilot with Texas Children's Hospital. Join me in supporting Starfly so we can impact the 20 million youth in the US who struggle with their mental health. Thank you.
Wow, that's an incredible impact by these 6 young change makers, right? So now I've got some interesting questions for each of you. Mahima, we'll start with you. Considering your project is on healthcare, getting approvals, compliance checks, all these are quite difficult. How did technology help you in this regard and in your project?
I would say that technology helped me in two main ways. First, it allowed me to innovate to create a safe environment for our users. Through instituting rigorous identity verification processes, profanity filters, and parental approval mechanisms, we're now COPPA compliant and a safe environment for our users. Second, I would say that technologies allowed me to develop a network of 15 psychologists and 4 healthcare CXOs who guided me in making sure Starfly addresses the unique of my user audience. Thank you.
Chan, coming to you. We stand at an interesting moment in history where technologies like artificial intelligence, augmented reality, virtual reality, blockchain, etc. Are giving us an opportunity to address some of the age-old problems and hopefully solve some of these biggest challenges our country and the different countries and our world have been facing. How do you think these technologies can be used for social good and towards achieving the SDGs?
AI has certainly been groundbreaking, with many calling it revolutionary. But today, more than ever, we need to ensure that the informal sector is not left behind, like many times before in history. In terms of my project, I believe that AI can help construction workers by going through the millions of schemes and finding those best relevant to them. It can make things like investing now accessible to these informal workers like construction workers. And personal finance managing tools can be really effective. With AI's endless applications, I truly believe it can be a catalyst for inclusion and making sure that in this rapidly changing world, construction workers have a chance at a better life. Thank you.
Thanks for sharing that, Chan. In fact, I'll touch a little bit more about the AI work that we have been doing with youth as well. Moving on to Chaya and Jia, technology is a great enabler. So tell us, how can young people, despite their age or resources, initiate impactful projects leveraging technology effectively?
Technology nowadays is an essential part of everyone's everyday lives, and we as teenagers especially know that. Our project consists of smart cards that any villager could use to get 1 liter of water for 10 cents.
So our project doesn't only stand on smart cards for technology, but even our reverse osmosis filter runs on technology. In the future, we want to add a QR-based scanning because in India, online payment is widely used. If 14-year-old girls can provide clean drinking water to 4,500 people, we strongly believe that the youth and future generations can do so too. Thank you.
Wow.
14 euros per one free drinking water to 4,500 plus families. That's incredible. Ashmita, coming to you. Now with technology, a big challenge has been the lack of connectivity and infrastructure. In fact, towards implementing these new technologies at the grassroots. How are you addressing this issue with respect to your project on education?
So, I firstly believe that education is a beacon illuminating the darkest corners of life, and it should be made available to all. Factors like connectivity or infrastructure shouldn't be a hindrance towards accessing education. And as part of my project, Education for Everyone, I have developed a curriculum-based digital toolkit, which I call the Edufication Toolkit. And its notable advantage is that it doesn't require any internet access. Thus, I am utilizing technology in such a way that I can scale its impact, reach out to different parts of the country, and the educational content that I have created once can live for longer. Thank you.
Thanks for sharing that, and I love how you have used technology, addressing these challenges. Roshni, finally coming to you. Throughout your Future Leaders project journey, you've learned a lot. Would you like to share some interesting insights and learnings from the program through your project journey that might be helpful for other young adults, young individuals? I know there are a lot of school students from different schools of New York who have joined us. Maybe some interesting lessons and insights for them that you would like to share.
Yes, so leveraging growing resources like technology and connections are the best way to start off, because there are so many people willing to help if you just ask them. One of the primary insights I gained was that when you work with vulnerable children, it's extremely important to be careful and take help from experts, because these children are easily influenced. So by being empathetic, you're able to gain their trust, which is crucial when working in the education space. Also, you have to know to be patient, because these children take time to open up and connect with you. The second insight, and probably the most important, is that not everything will go to plan. So it's okay to change direction based on what your target audience needs, because impacting them in the right way is our goal. Thank you.
I think that's a great way to end this panel with some incredible insights and lessons for all the youngsters. I say this every time, I have to say this again. May the force always be with the youth. And with that, we end the panel. I would love to invite Manav and Amit back onto the stage while we screen the Second Purpose Rebel mini documentary. Thank you.
Thank you so much. See you later. 要不要出镜？出镜进去1-2分钟。这个清凉峰会在这里召开就好了。放在新闻开头的。
I was going on the trip to Udaipur when we came across a very long traffic jam. As we got to the front of the queue, two motionless bodies just lay on the road. These were two farmers from a nearby village. They'd taken their own life because they were unable to repay a meager loan of $1,000. They turned to local lenders for loans. These lenders charge exorbitantly high interest rates. As these interests accumulate, farmers are unable to repay these loans. This is a cycle of poverty that farmers in India are stuck in. And this happens more than 10,000 times a year, with farmers taking their own life just because they are unable to repay loans. So this became my goal, working to improve livelihoods for farmers.
फंगस जब लगता है तो उनकी डाली से शुरुआत होती है। डाली से थोड़ा धीरे धीरे पूरा पेड़ में अंदर तक चला जाएगा। अंदर तक चला जाएगा तो पूरा पेड़ को खलास कर देगा। फुलाव वाला कीड़ा है, उनको बोलते हैं मीलीबग। अपने अंडे अंदर रख देते हैं और धीरे धीरे वो भी अटैक करने लगते हैं, तो वो पूरा कोटन का पौधा वो पूरा खोखला कर देते हैं। 25 से 30% वो नुकसान ही भुगतना पड़ता है खेडूत को।
तो ये आपको हर रोज कितनी बार देखना पड़ता है?
हर रोज हम 3 चक्कर तो लगा ही लेते हैं,
पूरे फार्म का।
पूरे फार्म के 3 चक्कर लगाते हैं।
बहुत मेहनती काम होगा। Drones can definitely help farmers. Drones have several use cases. The one I worked upon is crop health assessment. It's where you look at a leaf, analyze it to see whether it's been infected or not. My algorithms could in real time detect diseases in any leaf. I've been working on developing the same object detection algorithm that could analyze a cluster of leaves at a time. I have gotten accuracy of 92% already. Now I have a solid algorithm which, the moment the drone flies, can train itself to tell us whether there is a disease or not. And this moment, the idea from Mecacrop was born. Mecacrop is an initiative that leverages technology for sustainable farming. If we employ the same drones in their field, farmers can have substantially more yields, which means more incomes. Once they are able to get higher incomes, they'll be able to escape their cycle of poverty.
This technology, once deployed at scale, will have immense potential and solve for multiple factors which are affecting yield loss in India. The amount of yield which has been lost due to pests, diseases and various afflictions of the crop, you will see that that number is upwards of $30 billion. To put that in context, all of India's agri exports as of 2022 are only $53 billion. So you can just imagine the kind of potential that solving some of these pest and disease related challenges can have for Indian agriculture.
So there was a problem in the field where the farmers had a problem with night pests infiltrating the field. So do you think the night camera would also capture?
Yes, thermal camera definitely can
night pests.
Yes, sir. And
this one,
yeah, you can just here.
So do you think a smaller drone with say 4 propellers is possible?
Yeah, absolutely, it can be done. This is ready to fly. Whenever we get the field from here, the satellites are there.
Aryan is a technologist. Democratizing the use of technology and making it inclusive. And that's the conversation he's driving. And he sees a world where technology could be made available to every farmer in India.
किसान जीवात जो फसल में लगती है तो वो मालूम कैसे करता है, वो कपड़ा लगाते हैं कलर वाला और उसको अंदर घूमकर वापस आकर देखते हैं कौन सी जीवात लगी है, सब कपड़े पे लिपट जाते हैं।
मैं आपके इसी समस्या के लिए एक समाधान लाया। जिससे पहले आपका बीमारी एक भी और फसल में फैले, वो पहले पकड़ देगा और आपको बता देगा,
ठीक,
ताकि आप जाते ही जिससे पहले वो पहले आप निकाल दें।
ड्रोन का वो एरिया कितना होता है?
ड्रोन आपसे 3 किलोमीटर दूर जा सकता है। हम पूरे खेत का इधर से वो देख रहे हैं, तो हमने इतने दूर से अच्छा ऊपर चढ़ना नहीं पड़ा, कुछ नहीं पड़ा, ऊपर हुआ पता लग गया कि आप पैर कीड़ा लग गया।
कौन सी बात लगी हो?
बिल्कुल सही। सिर्फ ये एक फसल नहीं, सारे फसल पूरे खेत के सारे को बता देंगे।
Big round of applause for that. And Aryan would like you to get recognized.
was quite inspired by how Aryan was very methodical about his planning, and how he went one step after another, and the entrepreneurship that he had. And I would just like to expand and say, I mean, this is what I found amongst a lot of young people that I spoke to, and when I learned more about their projects, as you would have felt by now listening to them. It's a very inspiring story, and I try to imagine a world where all these projects have come to fruition, and you try to see that what a different and beautiful and wonderful world that could be. So I'm just trying to help take these stories to a larger audience, and I'm really grateful to all the students, all the young people who are here, who are creating such amazing projects and working at grassroots levels for impact.
Thank you, Amit. Food security is a big issue. Climate change is a big issue. More than 60% of India is still in the villages of India. So use of technology like drones and artificial intelligence, and making a use case of it for farmers is a big commitment Aryan has shown. So Aryan, the question to you, who has been part of your journey, and how have they helped you create an impact in your project?
Yeah, thank you, Madhav. So I've been very fortunate to have several excellent mentors and guides in the past 2 years. The journey started with my parents, who were the guiding force of my project, helping me make my dream a reality, especially with the traffic incident which happened. Then entered Jugal, an entrepreneur who wanted to make his own drones, and Ranga, who gave me the knowledge required, the ins and outs of this drone technology. This was complemented by a 2-week AI internship course, which actually enabled me, gave me the capabilities to write my own algorithms. And then stepped in 1M1B, and under Mana's guidance, I was able to stitch this knowledge of drones, the knowledge of AI, to help solve a real world problem. But again, last but definitely not least, we have our farmers. These farmers, part of the village Udan, who treated me like family, allowed me to eat with them, play with them, sleep with them, and grow with them. It's definitely been a very, very life-changing experience, and I aim to fulfill my commitment to help these farmers who seek hope in my technology. Together, we can all forge a future where villagers like these, farmers like these, live in a more inclusive and equitable world. Thank you.
Always inspired to hear those stories. Thank you so much, Aryan. Thank you so much, Amit, for putting these stories to life. And I hope we can take them to the world and start a movement of young people following their purpose and being the purpose rebels. And I'm sure we'll have more documentaries coming in the coming future on various topics. And I hope a few of our students can still be part of it. Thanks, Amit.
Namaste and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests and our delegates. It is with great pleasure and a deep sense of hope that I take this moment to recognize change, growth and action. As the program manager and the mentor of the Future Leaders program, I take pleasure in celebrating the incredible work of our future leaders and the youth seated here. They have shown us that inclusivity, tech for good, climate action and sustainability are not just buzzwords in the world today, but imperatives of the future. So let me begin the rocket pitches, and you will see why they are called change makers and future leaders. We will start with Project Kana by Navya.
红的没按，绿色的红的才行。快点了。
38% of Indians and 16% of Americans are now digitally literate till 2023. My name is Navya, and through my project, I aim to enable underprivileged children aged between 13 and 17 to pursue jobs in the organized sector by teaching them how to use Canva to improve digital literacy. Through my project, I've been able to teach 150 children how to use Canva and email, and I've also shown them how it can be used in the future. But the story doesn't end here. My project, I aim to help and reach more people to accelerate the digital revolution. Thank you.
Project Take Up by Rohan Gupta.
Did you know that 80% of government school students have a passion for computer science, but are held back by the lack of access? Well, I, Rohan Gupta, have this same passion, and I firmly believe that no student should be held back by their background. So I am teaching students how to survive in this rapidly digitizing world by teaching them essential technological skills. By doing so, I hope that Project Tech Up can be the bridge that will allow these students to find their way into the world of tomorrow. This is my mission, and I want it to be our mission. And this will help me reach more schools and teach more students. Thank you.
Project Intermediate by Akash Pandya.
Good day everyone, my name is Akash. Imagine a world where every child, regardless of their background, has access to quality education. That's the vision of Project Illuminate, a passion project close to my heart, inspired by my grandfather's journey from poverty to prosperity through education. I've already impacted 700 children through donations of 700 books, USD 3,000, and 50 hours of tutoring. I've also set up one library. Currently, I'm supporting 27 destitute children's education and through a fundraiser. And I want to make a plea to illuminate the lives of these children through donations, volunteering, or simply by spreading the word. Thank you.
In Karnataka, nearly 50,000 students at the age group of 3 to 6 years drop out of school every year due to reasons such as lack of infrastructure. This is where Project Shikshayati and I Jushnu stepped in. We provided one government kindergarten with necessary facilities such as a play area, books, tables and chairs, and even taught 18 students how to solve abacus problems. And I hope I could implement my model in other government kindergartens in the future. Thank you.
Project Iklavya by C.S. Lalani.
Close your eyes and imagine trying to decipher a book with just raised dots. That is the daily struggle of Fatima, studying at Survi Blind School in Gujarat, India. Hi, I'm Zias, the founder of Project Iklavya. Project Iklavya aims to provide inclusive education to underprivileged children, including visually impaired students. We have set up 7 mini libraries in various low-income schools. We raised $1,300 and introduced tactile books to 37 students from Survi School. This has all impacted 650 students and helped them become confident learners. Education is a beacon of light that can light up even the darkest corners. Let's stand together for inclusive education and ensure education lights up every corner of the world. Thank you.
Project Kiyafe by Rachit Debit.
Can you imagine a world without sound? This is the case of 34 million people in this world according to the WHO. Hello everyone, I'm Rachit Debit, a 1-on-1B future leader. 3 years ago, I came across a 5-year-old who was abandoned just because of his hearing disability. Just because his parents lacked the basic knowledge on the curability of a hearing disability. My solution to this problem is to raise awareness at schools, orphanages and hospitals on the importance of the hearing screening at young age. Through my initiative, I've raised awareness to 560 people through awareness sessions and funded the hearing of 10 children in hope to change their lives. Together, we can let these children hear the world symphony. Together, we can. Thank you.
Project Chibali by Niharika Nair. Did you know a tribal group faces a minimum of 6 human rights abuses in a day? Hi, I'm Niharika Nair and I have started Project Chibali, which aims to spread awareness about their problems and help the tribals to preserve their culture while not compromising on their rights. It comprises of 2 parts, the first being fundamental rights through health camps,
government IDs, and sales of tribal handicrafts, etc., and the other of cultural preservation through awareness sessions and documentation of the cultures. So far, we have impacted 3,000 people directly and 9,000 people indirectly, and we have enrolled 1,200 people for Aadhaar cards. It is essential that we secure the rights as the tribal people are the heritage of humankind. Thank you.
Project chapter by Ananya Narayan.
The WHO says that every 1 in 5 teenagers has a diagnosable mental health disorder, but only 50% get the help they need. To put this in perspective, that could be 8 of us future leaders, but 4 may never recognize this. Hi, I'm Ananya, the founder of Project Chapter, an initiative that aims to spread awareness about mental health issues in teenagers. Through my project over 4 years, I've engaged with over 700 students via awareness sessions and indirectly impacted over 1,000 people through online advocacy and more. Mental health is very real, and I want to let everyone here know that it's okay not to be okay. Thank you.
Project Sapient by Rochan.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Rochan, co-founder of Project Sapient. Today, there are 8.5 million visually challenged students in India who are unable to read, including my uncle, who once faced the same challenge. However, he showed me that visually challenged people have immense opportunities and abilities, and hence deserve the same opportunities as everybody else, education opportunities as everybody else. So to that end, we started Project Sapient, which aims to empower visually impaired students in my city of Hyderabad by providing them with education opportunities. So far, impacting over 300 students. So join me in helping empower visually impaired students across the world and help them provide the same education opportunities. Thank you.
Project Lanchika by Aditya Narayan.
The role of the teacher is to provide the conditions for invention, not just provide ready-made knowledge. These words have personified my mission, founding Project Yantrikta, a robotics program for underprivileged youth in India. We have impacted 225 students directly through 53 hours of sessions, raising $1,800 in kits donated directly. We've initiated this program at 6 government schools and have directly interacted with local government representatives. Join us by visiting projectyantrikta.org and democratizing STEM for everyone, always. Thank you.
Project Prosperity by Shivang.
Did you know that the labor rate of women in India is just about 33%? Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Shivang Jaswal, founder of Project Prosperity. Our mission is to empower women. Towards that, we identified a few underprivileged women in a small village in India. In just a few impactful workshops, we equipped our community with essential business skills, digital strategies, and advertising knowledge. We enabled direct business connections, which helped us receive orders and distributed 100 advertising leaflets locally, which resulted in income. We are one step closer to our ultimate goal of making women self-reliant. Thank you.
Project Agni by Shikhar and Anurag.
Did you know that every minute approximately 37 kids are diagnosed with cancer globally, but awareness could be their lifeline, increasing survival by 80 to 90%. Hello, I'm Anurag Vatlamodi.
And I'm Shikhar Gupi.
And we are the heart and soul of Project Agni.
So picture this, 600 lives touched through offline and over 250 through online, a ripple of hope. Our project aims to spread awareness about cancer awareness in children in the ages of 10 to 18.
Join us, create a heart with your hands. In the words of Helen Keller, alone we can do so little, but together we can do so much. Join us in our mission. Thank you.
Project Vitality by Manyata. In 2021, my grandmother was diagnosed with hemiplegia, which is complete paralysis of one side of the body. Her illness posed a lot of challenges, but it became a catalyst for my project, inspiring me to support others with their health and well-being, specifically the youth. I'm Manyata Ladi, and this is Project Vitality. Annually, 60,000 young adults are forced out of orphanages at 18 with limited resources and no caring support in India. My aim is to provide a physical health system for these young adults to make them fit and well for their future. I've held 6 sessions with 300 attendees, benefiting 250 people indirectly and 130 young adults directly with nutritious food, daily diet plans, and conducting yoga and sports classes. This was supported by my fundraiser that raised $850. I plan to expand my project by hosting health workshops, fitness programs, and awareness sessions moving from one orphanage to another. I would like to end this presentation by a quote. Harmony in health, hope in our hearts. Thank you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, those were the rocket pitches. I think the biggest lesson learned here is acting on our ideas to empower, or if I might stay in 1M1B style, to activate everyone around us towards a future that is inclusive, technologically advanced, sustainable, and more importantly, resilient. Thank you.
We still have more students and you'll definitely hear more of these rocket pitches. Now I'd like to invite Chirag Tyagi, a young changemaker, to take us through the unveiling of the 1M1B Impact Compendium. And while he's doing that, I would like to request the 1M1B team members to please come up on stage for the unribboning and unveiling of the Impact Compendium.
Greetings everyone, I'm Chirag Tyagi, honored to serve as a youth representative at 1M1B. I firmly believe that our generation must assume leadership roles to propel progress and realize the UN 2030 agenda. My ideology centers on empowering underprivileged youth and also by sparking a chain reaction that inspires collective action for sustainable development. As 1M1B enters its 10th year of working in the community, and with the youth, we take a moment to reflect and also to chart a way forward. We take this opportunity to present to you the 1M1B's story, the Impact Compendium. The compendium showcases 1M1B footprints, the efforts, and the learnings that made it possible. We also believe that as 1M1B continues its journey, building awareness and engagement among the youth for the SDGs is equally important. Thus, in the compendium, we also showcase select artwork of our future leaders, their expression of the SDGs. Now, I would like to call the 1M1B team to untie the ribbon and release the 1M1B Impact Compendium. Also, all registered participants will receive a digital copy of the compendium. Thank you.
Next, we have an interesting fireside chat with Dr. Naresh Tyagi, Chief Sustainability Officer at the Aditya Birla Fashion and Retail Limited. I invite Manav to lead this exciting chat.
Please welcome Dr. Tyagi. We were here 3 years back and Dr. Tyagi was with us. He's been a big supporter of the 1M1B program and all youth-led initiatives. And when I invited him to talk 3 years back, he landed up talking about ESG. And 3 years back, not many people had heard about ESG. And today that's very common. Environmental, social and governance. And that's very important for all businesses to follow. Dr. Tyagi has been a champion of ESG. He's the head of sustainability at the Aditya Birla Fashion and Retail Limited in Bangalore. And I would like to have a short discussion with you, Dr. Tyagi. First, as you've been hearing these young people talk, and I know a lot of them have been mentored by you personally, what would you like to comment?
Thank you, Manu. It's a delight to see all these change makers you call them future leader, but I think they are the already leader who is shaping our future. They are the one who actually, earlier I thought that they will do something later, but they are already doing. And they are accelerating all the journey towards our SDG 2030. It's absolute delight to see the kind of work they are doing on ground. And some of them, I think, are doing more as an ambassador, sustainability champion, to make it happen faster. I wish that we all take this and make that all students, all university schools to accelerate the journey towards SDG. Excellent work by 1M1B to get these young change makers doing project on ground and taking it to sustainable development.
Thank you, Dr. Tyagi. Dr. Tyagi has been a big supporter of a program we did together called the Sustainability Accelerator, which is impacting sustainability mindset amongst young people at a very early age. And he hosted the first internships for these students in his office. Now, internships are not easy, as you all know, and sustainability internships are something that makes sustainability real for young people. It goes beyond the books. You go to a shop floor, you go to a large factory like Aditya Birla Fashion Retail, you go to a village that is supported by Aditya Birla Fashion Retail, and you get to see what sustainability really means. So, Dr. Tyagi, what was your vision behind the Sustainability Accelerator and the massive support that you've shown for young people in India?
Story. When I was young and in school, I have no idea what is SDG. I have no idea what is sustainability. But the behavior I was practicing it. There was no resource which was wasted. When I see now, everyone knows what is SDG and sustainability. But I was missing that. I thought that we need to give that knowledge which I have gained and which big university college already have that course and program on them. How to reach to that young student when they are in school. Because changing the behavior, changing the mindset, that is the right time. And very few company and organization, because they are mostly in that advanced college and university, they don't go to that school. My idea was that to catch them when they are young, change their behavior when they can start practicing. Because theory and knowledge is important, but practicing it and creating or inculcating that sustainable behavior is the something which I thought need to be useful for making that mass movement. And I feel that we have made a good journey, good starting point, because corporate, they mostly focus on that big university and institute, not go to the school. And that's the unique thing which I feel happy to start.
That's real disruption right in front of you, where sustainability needs to be taught by experience and not just from university programs and academic books. So, Dr. Tyagi, last question. You are a large corporation heading sustainability. What is your recommendation for Summit of the Future and as United Nations goes for the UN 2030 agenda? Any recommendation from your side to the United Nations?
Excellent question. Lot of work is already in progression for SDG 2030, but there are certain areas which need more priority, more focus. I would put that what I call is that beyond that what is happening, that 5-point agenda. My first point is that looking into that system where we have mindset of nature positive. Whatever we have got as a natural resources, be it water, energy, waste, use it in a manner where it is not wasted. Second, I would say that economy is good, and if it is not taking care of ecology, it's not good. Getting that ecology and economy with social impact is the something which is very, very important to reach to SDG 2030. Third, I would say that though there is growth happening in different pockets, but inclusive growth, how we get all that stakeholders, be it technologists, be it organization, civil society, even I would say that individual as a citizen, how do we have all that stakeholders who contribute it and who get benefit of all it. It should not be selected, privileged one who get that all benefit. It needs to be inclusive growth and for everyone. Fourth, I think we have overconsumed, and I know that SDG 12, sustainable production and consumption. So how we use that all natural resource in a manner, material, where it is recycled, we use, and circular economy is the way to transform that our linear model of manufacturing and consumption to circular economy. This will create new economy, this will create new business model, and that need to be encouraged. Fourth, I would say that technology is enabling. So how we get that technology in the school projects, where young mind use it for positive impact and awareness and acceleration in that young mind for the behavior, for doing something towards SDG goal is something we need to accelerate more. I think we need to have, maybe we call it 1 million, 1 billion. I will say 10 million, 10 billion. We need to have that kind of progression and mastery.
Thank you, Dr. Tyagi. Big round of applause for his commitment towards sustainability. At this point of time, I would like to invite my colleague Abhiram. To recognize Aditya Birla Fashion Retail as an esteemed 1M1B partner by giving this plaque to a social scientist and head of CSR, Mr. Subhashish, who's also here with us. Subhashish, like to have us. Just a quick word on the partnership and your experiences.
This is such a moment of enlightenment and enrichment. As when we started our journey independently, the future was very distant and unclear. That was uncertain. However, upon joining forces with such a great and renowned partner, now the horizon is remarkably close. We are empowered and gratified with 6,000 plus students representing 800 plus schools coming from 20 plus states and union territories. I would take up the sentence from Her Excellency Ruchira Kambodji, the way she said, the future is here, the future is now. So this is the moment of great celebration for all of us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, gentlemen. Dr. Tyagi touched upon enabling students in schools to use technology efficiently. On that note, I would like to request Ms. Shweta Chand, educator and principal of a school in Bangalore, to tell us how are schools leveraging technology for the SDGs?
For National Public Schools at Bangalore, India, partnering with 1M1B ensures our students are aware of UN SDGs. Their action is being taken with commitment and grit, and that impact is being measured quantitatively and qualitatively at the grassroots level. While global corporations exploit technology to support their growth needs, our future leaders show us how that same technology can present countermeasures for sustainable development with ethical practices. SDG 17 aims for revitalizing global partnerships, and 1M1B, by empowering youth leaders, is poised to lead a strategic global partnership. As educators, our vision is to create global citizens who believe in collaboration over competition and in the community over the self. We are sure that the impact that these future leaders create today will set us on course toward a new tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Now I'd like to touch upon a little about the AI Youth Skills program that I mentioned earlier. Alright, so in this era of rapid technological advancement and evolution, it is imperative that young minds are taught how to use AI efficiently. It is essential to equip our young minds with the knowledge and skills in AI, to use AI as young innovators and creators who leverage this technology to solve some of the big global challenges using new age tools and mindsets, enabling them to become innovators and creators using AI rather than just be passive consumers of AI. With this goal in mind, 1M1B partnered with IBM and the Central Board of Secondary Education CBSE in India to develop the AI Youth Skills program, which was launched in 2019 with the aim to empower youth to become AI-powered problem solvers. This program not only imparts AI skills, but also fosters an environment where young individuals can innovate, create, and harness the potential of AI to address societal challenges. Through this program, we are sowing seeds for a future where youth leverage AI responsibly, ethically, and inclusively, driving positive change for generations to come. As you can see on the slide, previous slide, yeah. The philosophy we use in the program is AI for all and AI for good. So any student, irrespective of his interest, stream, be it an art student, humanities student, science student, computer science student, should learn AI, get excited by it, because the future is AI, and it's important to know how can you leverage this technology in your field. And of course, using AI not just as a tool or as a subject, but using it to solve some of the big problems our world is facing. As you can see, we have touched close to 500,000 students and 25,000 teachers who have been trained through the program over the last 3 to 4 years, and the partnership just continues and keeps growing. Every year we have new elements coming in. 2,000 plus schools have opted for AI as a subject in the school. And I think in the recent exams that happened, AI was one of the highest scoring subjects for students as well. So a lot of interest happening thanks to the program and a number of initiatives we are doing in this space. 29 states of India have taken up AI programs, different schools in these states. And I'm glad to say that while we're looking at the philosophy of AI for good, over 2,000 plus projects have been mentored from more than 10,000 project ideas using AI that we have received. And a very, very interesting aspect of this program in partnership with IBM is that students are given an internship. So 250 plus students have been provided internship. Every year about 50 students get an internship with IBM, one of the rarest occurrences of under 18 internships happening in India. And as you can see in the slide, the pictures here, we are taking AI to the grassroots. So any student in a city like Mumbai or Bangalore sitting in a good school is learning AI, and so is a student sitting in a rural school or in a school in the hinterlands of India learning AI as well, learning what are the possibilities with AI, how can he or she use AI to solve some of the community challenges that they're facing, like the students you have been listening in terms of water, mental health, waste management, climate change, etc. How can they leverage AI for the same? We are also coming up with AI labs in many of the schools where dedicated spaces, especially for AI, is being set up with the aim of using AI for the SDGs. And as I mentioned, a number of innovative mechanisms we have been using to excite students to make AI education exciting and rewarding. Two of them that you can see on the slide is one is Future Tech Olympiad, which is one of the largest Olympiads in India on future technologies. We just did the pilot round earlier this year with about 50,000 students participating, and the second edition of the Olympiad just went live last month, in fact. And the other is AI Problem Solvers Challenge, where we're saying, okay, if you know AI, come up with solutions you can build, but even if it's an idea, share an idea of solving a problem using AI, and we'll help you get mentored and take it forward and build a prototype, a solution. So we hope this revolution continues, and India can power the AI potential, use its youth capital, and be the AI leader for the world. So thank you so much. With that, I will move on to the next segment. Again, time for some music and singing. I invite Rishan Subodh, a young change maker, to introduce the slam song. And I would like to invite all the attendees, it's a bit quiet here, to sing along as the song is sung by the team members, the voices of one another.
我们到下面去。
你这样说，不回来了吧？
我们去别的地方，外交更好的地方。
Hello everyone, I am Rishan Subodh, a youth change maker with 1M1. Youth are major stakeholders of our future. They will be the most impacted, but they are also those who can make the most impact. Today, for a better tomorrow. Their efforts towards the fulfillment of the SDGs is thus very crucial. To engage more youth, we at 1M1B invited our youth change makers, the 1M1B future leaders, to raise their voice for the SDGs, leveraging the power of spoken word poetry and music. In every chord, a call for unity. In every note, a promise of a better world. A lyrical journey from hope to change. The future is here, now and you. Introducing the slam song performed by the 1M1B future leaders. Ashmita Gupta, Jishu Uman, Rihanna Kapoor, Akash Panda, Manita Ladi, Nishita Shah Meri, and Rene George. Music by Spencer David. This composition is led by Rema Joseph, presenting The Future Is Yours.
唱歌。怎么搞的？我跑没了。
Dreams to chase, no one else.
เข้าใจ
17. The countdown begins to creep. Coming together with the UN SDGs.
16. Calls out. A cry prevails for peace, for justice, for balanced scales.
15. Echoes the cries of nature's plea. A healed planet for you and me, biodiversity.
14. Our oceans weep, yearn to be free. For climate action, for our planet's sake.
13. Not just a fight, but a pledge we take. For climate action, for our planet's sake.
12. Calls for sustainable construction, responsible consumption, mindful production.
11. Cities thriving in their ascent. Communities bustling, urban content.
10. A goal for work that respects, dignity in labor, a world that reflects.
9. Industry, infrastructure, innovation. Creating solutions for a growing civilization.
8. Fair pay, safe spaces, a just refrain, where decent work and economic growth reign.
7. The future we wish to see, powered by hope and renewable energy.
6. In every drop, in every stream's flow, lies the chance to heal, to restore, to grow.
5. For every daughter, mother, and child, where dreams are born and minds alive.
4. Right to quality education, information's elevation for coming generations.
3. Every single human being's good health and well-being.
2. The countdown for hunger's end. Valleys are filled, communities mend.
1. Rings out poverty's plight. To heal our planet, let's plan it right. One world, one goal. As one, we must rise.
Future is love, future is now, future is you.